Today, as you may know, we have a special guest. It's Michelle Gray, who is the Dean of Business, Digital Media and Development and Information Technology. She's got a lot of work to do at the recently renamed, San Diego College of Continuing Education. No longer San Diego Continuing Ed, but College of Continuing Ed. And she's here to talk about the ICOM Academy, which I think is a really awesome option, doorway, gateway for students who want to earn certificates in various fields, which range from healthcare to business to program management. And so, Michelle, I'll let you talk about ICOM. Welcome. We're really happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I have a presentation. Really, it's from our kickoff that we did for ICOM 4. We're now on our 4th session of rebuilding some of our courses into this online format. And I thought that it really gave a really good overview of how we're developing these so that there's a nice professional look to all of our online courses. And I brought that as the presentation. I'll just read through it. I'm very informal. If I'm in a slide and you have a question, just go ahead and ask. It's completely okay. It's just us. So feel free to stop me if you want to.
San Diego Continuing Education is building a new fully online educational program to provide adult learners with fast, free, flexible job training and extensive career placement services.
The ICOM Academy, our certificate programs, can be completed in as few as 5 months. And it's been designed for flexibility. So our adult students who are working can easily attend the ICOM Academy.
ICOM Academy could potentially house hundreds of online career options for adults. But our initial launch will focus on small business entrepreneurship and information technology. Initially, our first programs will be small business planning, Linux server administration, mobile application development, Python programming, and virtual data center.
What's great about ICOM Academy is that students not only learn from me, the instructor, but they also learn from each other. I know a lot, I am the subject matter expert, but I assume that I don't know everything. Students are a great wealth of information for each other. This interactive medium allows students to interact on their projects. They can work together through the channels that we offer them, whether it's online live or through other interactive mediums.
Community colleges can be life-changing for people, particularly when they have robust offerings through their continuing education division that help people pursue career changes, that help people get back on their feet, and importantly, often provide a gateway to the middle class. We're delighted in 2019 to shine the spotlight on San Diego Continuing Education.
What makes the ICOM Academy unique is that programs are short and intensive, but also flexible. Students will be able to learn on their own time and in their own space, yet every class includes scheduled faculty-led instruction and peer-to-peer collaboration.
In the future, our support services will also be online. So student support services can be anything from career planning to development of your education plan. What are all the courses that you need to take in the program? And what are your future goals?
The students are completing career training programs that are industry recognized and state approved. Our use of open educational resources means zero textbook costs for our students. Our courses are generally short-term, and many can be completed in 5 to 10 months.
ICOM Academy will actually improve the way adults learn online, and that will absolutely be a game changer for future online instruction.
This is the fastest, most flexible way to earn a micro-credential.
San Diego Continuing Education is reinventing distance education with this ICOM Academy.
Okay, so the beauty of that was we did start back in fall 2020 with great results. We actually piloted a few of the courses in the summer. And not only were the students impressed with what they saw, but the faculty actually found the modules that had been created by this outside instructional design company. So much easier to follow. They were nice and clean. They had built in a lot of learned processes for learning online. And the students, for the first time, for some faculty who are teaching these classes forever, feedback they hadn't gotten from students before about the engagement that they had with the other students and how working through these modules really made the experience so much nicer. So basically, ICOM is kind of a front. It's kind of a marketing place. There's not a physical place called ICOM Academy. There's not a door that you go in. It's really just a place for us on our website to capture all of our fully online certificate programs. So just real quickly, I think a lot of you probably participated in the CTE Pathways grant that the state of California lent or awarded to community colleges across the state. Did any of you participate in that grant as well? No? Okay. Well, then forget that I said plenty of you did. I thought, well, it was released to a variety of different community colleges that took this money towards doing something online, and then COVID hit and it became really timely for us to all start looking at how we were going to teach remotely and teaching online. So we were awarded this contract, and the initial thought was, let's bring in somebody smarter than us about instructional design and look at how we can make our online offer. So we started with thinking, well, let's start with these IT classes. They'll be easier to convert. The students will be a little more savvy with how they're going to work in an online platform. So we dug into my section, which was the IT group. We took our mobile application development, small business planning, virtual data center, which is kind of cloud computing, Linux server administration in the network administration world, good old Python. And we thought, why don't we also stop for a moment? The first thing students are exposed to is the student services programs that we have. Let's clean that up too, so that every single student that starts a class with us through ICOM starts with all these nice modules about what our student services are. And then every class starts with a video by the instructor saying, hey, how are you? Welcome to the semester. My name is XYZ, and we're going to be learning this semester. And it just kind of captured it and made it nice and clean. We went on, that worked out so well, we went into ICOM 2, and we got a little more creative with classes like the Automotive Quick Service Inspection Program. And at first it was like, well, how are we going to do that online? But that was the beauty of having an outside consultant, was to help the automotive instructors think through how they could verbalize and teach something about automotive in an online environment. This, of course, inspection technician was pretty easy. It wasn't like how to repair a automotive. So this worked well. We went into the child development program, and we did infant care. We've got something called Career and College Readiness. You guys probably have a lot of those at your campuses, where we are working with students that have a lot more challenges that they even realize. And it's more like emotional development that happens to get them ready to be successful in a college environment, and it's called Career and College Readiness. So there's a lot of self-development that happens in addition to some educational pieces that get them ready, and we put that into this ICOM program as well, so that it would again have a nice look to it. We got really fancy now. We think we're something, so we went to ICOM 3. And it's like, we got this. All right, let's put a few more programs in. We pulled in the automotive, again, the automotive service advisor. We tapped into our healthcare program with a quarter. Our project management class, I mean, we've just graduated like over 1,000 students in the last 4 or 5 years. It's so popular. It's insane. I mean, people just have adult meltdowns because they can't get in these classes. But we put that into the online format again, so we could offer it in an online environment and in addition to in the classroom. And then, of course, our child home care program as well had done so well with the previous ICOM that we brought that back in to that also. So this is just as if you guys were faculty getting ready to join one of the programs. Most of us deans will look at our programs and think, well, let's try this one. From a budgetary standpoint, a lot of times we'd have to back out because it'd be too big to really pay an outside consultant to redesign it. So we'd look again and go back and look at some others. So this was a presentation to new faculty coming into what's now ICOM 4 and getting them acquainted with what they've just raised their hand for, and then all the things we've learned along the way that really helped us be more successful with this as well. These were the programs that we selected: the business communication and workplace professional. That's my program, and I wanted that to be online so we could attach it to our network engineering programs, and we could get our students who are going into the network engineering field to get those soft skills that industry keeps talking to us about. We've got the infant and toddler. We have introductory courses that we've learned are helping students get a little better prepared for, again, hospitality or healthcare careers. And they spend about 80 hours learning about this path, what kind of job opportunities, what vocabulary they might be learning, just kind of preps them for better success when they get into healthcare or any of our hospitality certificate programs. ESL, we tested ESL. We're of course at the higher level of ESL because the lower level ESL students are just learning how to navigate the English language, so we wouldn't put them in an online environment. And then we started working with some of our high school programs to again, help students in a lot of different scheduling situations be able to complete their high school requirements online. So these kind of what we call the SMEs, the subject matter experts, that becomes our faculty. They're working with Ease Learning, is this company that we found that works across the United States with all kinds of colleges, helping them repackage their courses into online modules. It's all using Canvas. They've created an orientation for our faculty. And then John Valencia out of Grossmont, or formerly at Grossmont, is our project manager. We talked a little bit with the students or the faculty about the learning pathway and how this works. So in essence, if I'm a faculty member and I'm going to be involved in this, it actually is a pretty heavy lift. Like every week for about 7 to 10 hours, I have to put in this work to work industry designers. I'm still teaching classes. I'm still might be involved with a couple of committees. And it feels like in the first couple of weeks, you're just going to die. And, you know, we get that back from the faculty like, oh my God, I can't do it. Or they might get a little behind. But in the middle, when they kind of get a groove going, get the rhythm going, it is a beautiful process and they've really enjoyed it. So the learning and designing, it starts with a blueprint. We get the additional student services modules were created. We start looking at measurable outcomes and how they're going to lay that out. The assessments that we want to do, the instructional materials we want to use, we try to go to OER. If we can't, we try to identify the books and textbooks that we want the students to have. And then of course we work with the actual faculty. It's their syllabus, it's their teaching content that we're basically just patching a little bit, and I'll with that like in just a minute. So they start working this out. So the consultant starts reshaping how things look. This is a timeline that I'll spare you. You know, the first week they're working with the learning designers every single week. They've got a module finished, it goes to production. We all sign off on it. We have to stay on track or we have to pay a little more money. So we have to get back to faculty on that. Everything works pretty sequentially. We've tried at different times to take like a Business Comm 1 and a Business Comm 2 and do them at the same time. But the faculty found, well, now wait a minute, there's some things that I need to build into Business Comm 1 that's going to be transitional into Business Comm 2. I'm not ready to do that yet, so I can't do it at the same time. I want to do it after I've kind of built. So we had a lot of learning experiences on that as well. We do an orientation with them. Instead of student learning outcomes, they're called interactive learning objectives, where we set out what we want the students to get, of course, out of the programs. So what we wanted to do, I wanted to give you, this is a great presentation or a great PowerPoint because it gives you some examples of what it's going to look like when it's all done. And that's really what you guys want to see. And again, because of budgetary reasons, for instance, every program that we had, every course, only got to have one interactive piece. So if we just only had one or two programs that we were going to work with this consultant on, we'd probably have more interactive pieces, but it got a little pricey. So we were able to spread it out and work out a deal with them that each course will have one interactive piece. So this will give you an idea of, this was a faculty member's course in mobile application development. This was not anything that he had before. This is what they created, graphically, video. The faculty got to choose the voice of the video that was used. It could be a woman, it could be a man, whatever they liked. And that's how a lot of these were built. It made it kind of fun.
HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will be the foundational languages for our mobile application development. You must be adept at each to be successful. This activity will test your knowledge of the languages and provide you an opportunity to gauge your comfort level with each. As you go through the activity, make note of any questions you miss or find challenging. You'll have a chance to share your experience with your instructor and peers in the online discussion forum. Your instructor can then direct you to helpful resources or additional instruction as needed.
All right, let's try another one. This is VMware. It's actually, let's try this VMware Center. And this is all network administration stuff, so it's going to be so exciting to everyone. All right, so click the yellow circles on the diagram to learn more. So in essence, they built this so that a student would click this and learn what the vCenter server was, or click this one and what the client meant. And it was just a way to make it a little more visually interesting. And because you have to click, it makes it a little more engaging, right? All right, let's try another one. This is examples of programming with Python. Let's go with, this was the business program that we have, small business development program. Talks about legal forms for businesses, how you can form, what types of format you want. Be an S Corp, you want to be a...
Understanding the advantages, disadvantages, and tax implications of different legal forms of business is critical to selecting the structure that is most beneficial for your business. In this activity, you will review 2 business scenarios and explore considerations and tax implications for each legal form of business presented.
Well, it basically shows you these 2 scenarios, and then you get to pick and choose what the answer might be. But I think more than anything, it's being able to build some interactive components to your software. This is mobile. This is more mobile application development. Let me see what they're doing on this one. So again, it was working with an instructor designer using the funds that we got from the state. Now we've been able to use other funds now that those funds are gone to position ourselves to have this outside consulting firm work with us in kind of repackaging how our modules look.
In this activity, you will explore some key distinctions between iOS and Android platform design styles. iOS has a rich history dating back to 2007. It has shaped the look and feel of other mobile devices and continues to evolve in design. The Android operating system comprises the dominant share of mobile devices worldwide. It has its own look and feel.
So click the tabs below to compare characteristics of either an iOS or an Android.
In iOS app design, layers of content are made visually distinct via motion and interacting with the content.
The idea is that this was an opportunity for us to take advantage of the funding that we got from the state, to kind of upgrade the look and feel and interactive capabilities of our online software programs. This was Richard Golson. He spoke with the faculty about his experience, what went well, what didn't go well, and what things they could expect in working with this outside consulting firm. We actually put our faculty through our foundation. We did not bring them through the district so that we could better manage the grant funding. And that's about it. I thought that that would give you a better idea of what the faculty experience was and how we took this idea of working with an instructional designer and kind of perfected our delivery for our students. Any questions?
Thank you, Michelle.
Did I answer any questions for you? Did I confuse you?
I have some questions.
Okay.
As someone who's a faculty member, I thought that was really fascinating that there were learning designers that help faculty redesign their online courses. It seems like a really great opportunity. Were the faculty excited about it, or did they find it problematic? Were they resistant? I'm curious.
It was a little bit of all of that. We weren't, the first one, of course, we really weren't quite sure what we'd all raised our hands for. I come out of industry, so I had just finished a project with the U.S. Forest Service building some learning materials. And so I knew that there's a middle part where it just becomes heavy. Like, when am I going to be done with this? We had some faculty, they were trying to stuff all their PowerPoint into this, and the instructional designer was like, but you don't have to. We're going to take your content and write it a little bit small, a little more streamlined, right? And so, it might take a couple of weeks of hand it over and let them do their thing with this material. We had that with a couple of faculty who, felt like, wait a minute now, you're the client and I'm the faculty member. I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. And it was pretty consistent. And that was something that Richard talked about, was you do feel like, let me tell you what I want you to do. And when they finally kind of released and relaxed with the fact that this outside group could help us, that's when there was this nice groove that was established, and the final product was really, really nice, and they were all really impressed with it. But I don't think we've gotten resistance so much as just not really sure what this was going to look like. And 10 additional hours in a week can be a lot sometimes, right? Some weeks were shorter, right? But sometimes it felt like, how can I possibly give you that when I've got midterms or, the middle of a semester work that I have to get done? But it's probably about 2 months worth of work that they have to do, and then they hand it over for production and it comes back.
And what would you recommend to a college that wanted to implement something similar in terms of having faculty and learning designers work together? How do you build that kind of trust? Or how would you do it if you had to do it again? It seemed like this came about eventually.
I think that the way that we did it this last time around with the ICOM 4 was our best learned process. It was to have a kickoff where we could physically talk with the faculty and answer their questions. So they did have a lot of weight. A lot of the confusion has been, now what's this ICOM Academy thing again that we're doing? And even the instructional designers, I think most of us in the educational world know what instructional designers, who they are. In fact, some of your colleges have them. I know Mesa has one, right, Wendy? You guys have an instructional designer, don't you? Isn't that, what is her name? She's over in the Mesa. Yeah, yes, exactly. So, I mean, some of the colleges are able to have someone on board that can help you kind of think through what you're doing online. But for those that don't, having an outside consultant just made it nice to have that outside input. I don't think we really had, I think we just learned communication and to really be open and real about the fact that some of this is going to feel heavy, and not make it so idyllic. Oh, it's going to be the best thing you ever did in your life, working with these outside people. But to just be realistic that sometimes you're going to hate it, and we just hope you'll barrel through. You're going to be so impressed when it's all over. So I think just being realistic about it with the faculty really is what we've learned over this last couple of years.
Thank you. Who else has questions?
Are you guys considering something like this at your college? Not necessarily bringing in an outside consultant, but looking at how you can package some of your online courses in one place for all the students to find? Or what is the conversation going on with the non-credit world out there?
So it's, I'm at Santa Ana College, School of Continuing Ed, and we just had this conversation because we are offering DE classes, and the way right now they are shown on the website is with all the other classes. And one of the things we asked is if we could have like a designated page just for the DE program so that students that go to that page know they're more intentional, right? These are the students that are
Right.
just doing DE. They're not looking to have an instructor face-to-face, you know, or synchronous time.
Mhm.
So it is something that we figured we would need to do, so that way we can separate, especially
Right.
when we go back face-to-face. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. We will have that new page there, and because we don't want to lose the students that have been exposed to this new way of learning.
Mhm.